please walk us through, because you have been on top of it more than almost anybody in reporting the latest from Michigan and what you saw in that 10-page return letter that Michigan sent to the Big Ten.
Right. So earlier this week, the Big Ten sent their notice that they were considering punishment under the sportsmanship policy of the league. Michigan had, I guess, 48 hours to respond. They did late Wednesday afternoon, as did Jim Harbaugh's personal attorney, Tom Mars. And so they have responded, brought up their side of the arguments on why this is either not a suspension or some punishment isn't possible under NCAA or Big Ten bylaws and NCAA bylaws and all the different legalese that went through it. There's more to it than that. We'll get to it. But right now, it's back in the Big Ten's hands. They're reviewing the response, and everyone's waiting for a decision to see what punishment, if any, the Big Ten hands down on Jim Harbaugh or Michigan, with the game against Penn State at noon on Saturday, the biggest game so far of the year for Michigan, looming. There's still a possibility Jim Harbaugh doesn't coach that game. So it's kind of a interesting, unprecedented time.
What was in that letter? If you could unpack that 10-page letter, what did it contain?
Well, it's a lot. It's a lot. And, the merits of it will be decided, I guess, eventually. Kind of sets up a potential lawsuit also. So if the Big Ten does suspend, you would expect a stay. I mean, the various things are basically never before has this suspension or the sportsmanship rule been used to step in and punish a coach while an investigation is still going on, or in any way. The sportsmanship policy is generally like deals with arguing with referees or things like that. It's very nebulous. What is sportsmanship? They talk about how the end. There's nothing proven that Jim Harbaugh committed any unsportsmanlike act because he's not even aware. There's no proof that he was aware of how Connor Stalions was gathering his information. He was aware that Connor Stalions was a sign stealer because every team has a sign stealer, but he was not. There's no proof that he was aware of any advanced in-person scouting or anything like that Stalions was doing. Therefore, the NCAA has a rule that says, well, there's now strict liability for a head coach. You must be responsible for all of the actions of all of the people underneath you, which is going to be like 100 people. But the Big Ten's rule actually says it's the institution that is responsible for all the people, not the head coach. So can the Big Ten it's almost like a state court using a federal law. Can you do that? Again, I don't know. I thought one of the more interesting was the lack of evidence at this moment that the Big Ten actually possesses. The NCAA, it seems, is not able to hand over anything that they have found on this until after their investigation is complete, which it is not. So all that really these letters suggest the Big Ten has are some ticket purchases and some really nothing really impactful at all that would suggest even, I'm not sure, or they certainly don't believe, and I'm not sure you could even say Connor Stalions violated a rule based on the lack of evidence that the Big Ten possesses right now. So Michigan is sitting there saying, look, this investigation isn't even complete. There's been no conclusions. There's just allegations. We aren't fairly able to respond to what evidence is out there because you're not presenting it to us. So give us the due process. Let this play out. Don't suspend us now. Now, again, there will be evidence that would certainly show Connor Stalions did something, but at this moment there isn't. And so they're arguing the Big Ten is kind of jumping the gun and trying to get this done too soon. And they should let the system play out. The system really, I think anybody would read any of this, whether you are, no matter what team you root for or what you think, the system is not well equipped to handle a situation like this.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.